bright and early. It is bright and early, everybody. It is, well, it's not too early. It's 8:15. I'm just kind of tired. Had a hard workout. It is 6th January. It is Tuesday today here in Korea. For those of you who are wondering who this guy is, I'm Steve, the retired hobby tech guy. Retired early, American expat, living in Korea, doing 3D printing and painting, and just trying to fill up my golden years with days of fun and frolic with hobby stuff, besides going to the gym. Hey, we got MD here. Good to have you aboard, always. And we're going to continue something that we started a long time ago. I had shown this model before, and where it was FDM printed, a Warhammer guy. Matter of fact, you can see him right over there, that guy there. If we take a look, you know, there he is, waiting patiently, pointing at me, saying, hurry up and paint me. Yeah. So with that, I've been deficient in painting. He has been on the pile of shame for quite a long time, and so I'm trying to catch up, and I thought, well, we'll dry brush him up a little bit more, we'll add a little bit of titanium white to it, and then we'll do speed paint. So that's what we're going to end up doing. So with that being said, we're going to just jump right over to the paint station here. Hey, we got Ferristus here, says good morning. Yeah, good stuff. We're going to wander over to the paint station here, and we will start up our tablet so that way I can try to read the extremely small print to see what is going on. And okay, let's see if we can get this going. Blah, blah, blah. Yep, we got that. Okay, and we can see words. We can see words. So, trying to get this. This is the guy that we have. As you can see there, I wish I had a monitor. The tablet that I'm using is showing the stream, but it's like a minute and a half late. So this is the model that we ended up doing, and we did some dry brushing on it prior, a long time ago. This is FDM printed, and so I thought, well, we'll put a little bit of titanium white that we used here from our Teco paint, which are pretty good. I like them. We dry brushed more, kind of highlighted some areas, try to get some better coverage. And then we're going to just dip into speed paints. And the paints that we're going to be using are the Army Speed Paint, Army Painter Speed Paint 2.0. The 2.0. We need to decide what color we're going to do this guy in. And so I think we can use this brush here. It's going to be a little bit bigger, because we do have a bigger model, and I think what we'll end up doing, okay, we're good on that. What color are we going to do? I was thinking about purple and gold. That could be interesting, but then I was thinking about a red as well. So slaughter red, or the other red that we have is carmine dragon, which is a I don't know, the slaughter looks pretty good. I'm not sure. Man, he's cool. Yeah, it turned out pretty good. This, again, the FDM printed, and yeah, turned out really nice. I think it turned out well. So we'll see. We'll see if speed paints do something. Because I can't, honestly, I can't even, I don't think I painted this black. I think this is just PLA, and then I just dry brushed over it. So, wonder if this is going to work. I didn't think about that. I just thought about that. I was like, oh yeah, because usually you'll prime it with black, and then you do your zenithal, you know, either with dry brushing or an airbrush. Okay, so I guess the question is, we have slaughter red, and then we have carmine red. So we need to make a decision, and I think what we're going to end up doing is using gold as trim and stuff. So which red would look better? That's what I need y'all to let me know. The slaughter red, and we can kind of get an idea of what the colors are, but they're so close. But the slaughter red, I don't know, the slaughter red is deeper. It's like a richer, darker red. So I'm thinking that, but then the carmine red is pretty good as well. And then the other red, we have poppy red, which, I don't know, they're so close. And again, I don't know how these are going to work on this without it being properly primed. So, dun dun dun. Hey, we got George here. George says howdy. Good to see you. I think if we're going to do like a gold, we can kind of throw these tops on here so we can kind of get an idea of what it'll look like. Or we could also do like a purple as well. Purple could be good. Purple and gold would be a good one. So if we can see there. Oh, let's do purple. Boom. We will do purple. Forget red. We will do the purple. The moody mauve. Why can't they just say moody purple? So we'll do that. Ferretha says FDM has really come a long way. Is that still at 0.4? Yeah, it's still 0.4. I haven't got in the 0.2 or 2.5 nozzle yet from Micro-Swiss. So yeah, this was printed at the stock 0.4. And I think this was, the way the layer lines look, I think this is 0.16. If you take a look at that, you can see some of the layer lines on there, but I think that was 0.16, so that wasn't even super small. Oh, and then for those of you who are wondering, I printed out this thing that I made to hold miniatures, which is really cool. And you can put this, it's called the TVL 3265 because it'll hold a 32 millimeter base and then all the way up to 65. And so we just got a little collet thing there. Holds on, hold your mini, and then you can, kind of hold it. It rotates to some, some degree. So you can kind of move things around and you can have a better grasp on your miniatures as you're painting. And I think it turned out pretty good. Took me inordinate amount of time on Tinkercad because I don't know what I'm doing, but it turned out pretty good. That'll be on Creality Cloud. I'll put that and pin that as a comment in the comments box after we get all this done, or we'll see how far we get on this. So I think we'll end up doing, so we'll do the inside of this armor with the purple, and with gold trim, I would go with the darker red. Slaughter looks more for gore. Yeah, that's true. But I like the look of, maybe it's just because I like the look of gore. But if we do a purple and gold, really, that's a real good contrast. Now he's bright now. Now I'm double thinking, doing a double take. With that or the gold. We're definitely going to use gold. So if we can put that up there, we can see. So MD says it kind of looks Iron Man-ish. A little bit. Okay, so here's the deal. What we'll end up doing, I like the purple, I kind of like the red, I definitely like the gold. So we're going to be using gold. That's not negotiable. You all get to pick whether we're going to do purple or the red. So go ahead if you're watching and go ahead and let me know which one that we're going to do the armor on. I'm liking purple too. So we only got a few people here. So I think we'll do with the purple. Let's do the purple. Unless somebody last minute, all the other people vote for something besides purple. Otherwise, we're going to jam on the purple. Alrighty then, here we go. We'll mix up the purple. Purple it is. I need a bigger table. And so I was looking at other tables, but then I was also looking at how I could move this over, and I have a folding table that could fit over here. So that could be interesting. I'm not sure how the filming would work, but at least I could put stuff over on my right-hand side and take it from there. So we'll see how that goes. We will see, we will see. Okay, since we've got a fair amount of purple to do, let's clean up this little bit of white that I ended up having. Yeah, we did some titanium white to kind of highlight, do a little bit more highlighting on the model here. Let's do this. Get our little raggy thing that we got going on, and we will just start with. Not that that really is going to matter, but we'll just go ahead and put a dab on there. And I need a bigger one of these. One of these, I need a bigger one. Or pin it and put it onto something else. So let us start. And we'll load up our brush and let's see how this goes. And as I suspected, we will still get the layer lines, but it will be purple. And if I had primed it, it would have filled in some of these layer lines and it would have been a little bit better, but it is what it is. But the good thing is that the gold has some pretty good coverage. So if we get too crazy and make some mistakes, we'll be able to fix that with the gold, because it is a little bit thicker and it's not as see-through-ish as the purple here. Just kind of shoot that in there. So there it is. Okay, we got some purple there. And we'll do purple on the other side. And if I'm going to move that table so I can have like an L-shaped table, I'm also thinking about resetting up my computer, because it's like I got a big hub for it, and I think I got too much plugged into the hub, which is plugged into the Mac, which is causing some of the problems that we ended up having. And so I'm thinking about going through and changing a bunch of stuff. And so the cameras that I have are mostly USB-C. Like, well, is that one USB-C? No. The one on here is the Emmett 4K Nova. And that's a Brio, is this one that you're looking at there. It's USB-C, so I can do that one. And then I'm looking at getting the YOLO Live S3 camera, because that looks really good. Oh yeah, I think the purple is going to turn out good. I think we have a winner. So we'll try to get it so we have cameras that have a USB-C connection on the back, and everything will be USB-C. So that's kind of what we're looking for, because I think I got more USB-C ports on my Mac than I do the USB. And if I use the hub and I plug more stuff into the hub, then it kind of gets some type of conflict. So I think that's part of the problem that I ended up having with the stuff that we're doing and some of the mechanical problems. So yeah, purple's turned out pretty good. I like it. Doesn't seem to be bleeding too much. Not bad. Let's see. Dun dun dun. Rude Dog. Rude Dog. I turned in because I thought I was watching Dave Bautista. Stayed for the painting. Dude, thank you. I try to stay in shape. I try to stay in shape. And it's something that I enjoy doing. I try to gain a little bit of, I'm decent. But appreciate that. Matter of fact, I had a guy at the bank the other day. He says, "Hey," he says, I just want to say you look like a larger version of Dave Bautista." And I was like, "What?" I said, "That dude's big." Well, he's not big now, but he says, "Yeah, the wrestling guy." I said, "Yeah, I know who he is." And I said, "Thanks for the compliment." So, but the gym keeps me out of trouble, just like this stuff does. So, and I put some effort into the gym. I like it. I enjoy it. Dun, dun, dun. I turned in because I thought, Ferrithus says, I think Steve is bigger than Dave at this point. Yeah, he's lost some weight. That's for sure. But I think he lost it for a movie role or whatever. But I'm 260 pounds at 6'2". I think he's taller than me. So I'm not sure. I'd have to look that up. I think he's a good actor. I think he's got some range in his acting. I think if he can dip into and get some more serious roles, I think that would be pretty cool. I think he's got a lot to offer. Yeah, I think this purple is turning out good. Even though I didn't do the black primer, this is just straight PLA. So we can still get, I think I'll do that as well. We'll see how that goes, and then we'll just do gold for the little belt back there. That little thing, we'll do that in gold as well. Turning out good. We'll see how this turns out. More of a Cena fan when it comes to acting. Yeah. I don't know. John Cena, I'm not really I don't know. I haven't watched a lot of his stuff, to be honest. So I guess I can't really make an informed decision on that. But I'll take your word for it. Yeah, that is just kind of soaking that up there. Yeah, acrylics definitely go directly on PLA. Says I found that it runs a bit more in between the layer lines if it's not primed. Yeah, I really like seeing it on Peacemaker. Really fun show with the Suicide Squad and stuff like that. There's just some, the Suicide Squad, a lot of the DC and the Marvel stuff could have, they could have been so much better. And honestly, I don't know, some people might not agree, but I think Jared Leto was a good Joker. But I don't think they gave him a good story. So that was I think that was the problem with that. It just wasn't really a good story, and how they presented his character. I also liked the Morbius. I thought that was really good, but I think it came down to the story, and I think they just kind of screwed him on that. He's kind of limited because he's the actor and he's got to do what they say. So, but I kind of liked him in Morbius. So, but that's just me. I mean, I remember when Morbius, they were like, oh, it's a horrible movie. And then it's like, and you look at some of the later Marvel stuff and you're like, actually, and some of the later DC stuff, and you're kind of like, well, actually, Morbius is kind of good. It worked out, when you compare those, it was like, okay, We're just slapping this stuff on here. We're not going to get too intense. I'm not going to do like his butt or anything. But I feel it's a little like Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds is the perfect Deadpool. Cena is the perfect Peacemaker. Yeah, Morbius was good. He was good in Tron Ares too. I haven't seen that one. I'll have to pull that up and check that out. Man, this is just sucking up that paint. It's like, what was that? Silence of the Lambs. We're just kind of playing with this. As far as painting, I think it comes down to like what we're doing with the speed paints. You need to have a good zenithal, so you can get some good gradients, and yeah, it just works out well. If you paint everything white, kind of like we got this guy, which has an overabundance of white. It's still got some shading in there, but I think I overdid it on some of that white there. So that'll be an interesting result when we do that one, because I'll speed paint that as well. But this will just be I'm just kind of interested in seeing how, if the gradient would come in, which we do a little bit. Maybe I should have done a more aggressive dry brushing on this, and then that would have helped with that. But we'll see. Either way, it will get painted, and it will be off the shelf of shame. No more pile of shame for this guy, because he'll be painted. The wife is doing her yoga. So I'm unsupervised. I think it's better to go with the grain. Fills it up easier. Seems a little bit more consistent coverage. But then you've got the, you can see the layer lines as well. Tron Ares just started streaming. I watched it on the plane back to the US. 9 Inch Nails did the soundtrack. Ooh. Pyro. Hello. Unsupervised Steve. Yes, I am unsupervised. So we'll see how that works out. So eventually, probably looking back, I probably should have primed this with black and then did the dry brush or the zenithal, but you know, oh well. I think the main thing was this guy was just waiting and waiting and waiting, just pointing at me, and it's like, when are you ever gonna paint me? And I was like, yeah, I know, one of these days I'll do it. Just be patient, I'll get there. And there's the wife. Hey, sweetie. How was it? Yeah. So cold, yeah. I'm doing a video, just doing some painting. Is it like cold, or is it just kind of cold? Is it breezy, windy?
There's a crazy mom, baby in the stroller.
Yeah.
Stay outside and she's taking a photo and saying, I'm like, seriously, get inside. Oh my God.
Ooh, you are cold.
It was in my pocket. I mean, it's so cold. I'm not kidding, cold.
You're cold.
Yeah.
Poor thing.
Oh God, it's so cold.
So cold. So no walking today, huh?
Nope, I don't think so.
Alrighty. Yeah, I think primer, black primer would have been a good thing, but oh well, next time. We'll just kind of knock this out. Swedish Forge pops in, says hello. No longer unsupervised. Yeah, I know. You paint a big figure. Yeah, I'm trying to reduce the pile of shame. So And we're realizing we should have primed this in black, but oh well. We'll just drive on with it. But it's a larger figure, which is nice, but the other problem is it's going to use a lot of this purple. So we'll see how this goes. Coming out, how's that turned out? Crisis averted. Oh, we broke off his little, damn it. There's one of them. I knew that one broke off. Ah, where does this other little thing go? No. There, no. Seriously? Ah, well. We can fix it. Is it on the ground? I don't know. We won't let that deter us from our mission of painting. Just need to be careful. So let's continue on. For those little under pieces here, I think what we'll end up doing is where they're supposed to be like a black, I think I'll end up just putting like a whatever dark color we have with a speed paint. Maybe a little bit of a metal color-ish. So talking about like those things there. We'll see what happens. That little piece, where did it go? Somewhere on the desk, I imagine. Oh well, FDM printed. Yes, it is FDM printed. Live quality testing the model. Yes. Sound is gone. Seriously? Do we got sound? Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Oh, your sound is good. Oh, okay, all right. Like I said, I think I'm gonna have to rewire this thing. Unplug everything, replug everything in. We'll do all that, and we'll get going with that. But I think the problem with that was a lot of the cameras all had USB connectors, USB-A connectors. And so when I plugged all those in and I used a hub, that caused some problems. And I think that's why we had some issues on some of that stuff. So that's why I think if I end up taking all that stuff and then especially the web cameras, because I'm using web cameras, I don't have money for a $2,000 camera to do official painting videos. So I just kind of do the webcam thing, but I think with USB-C, well, it won't have as many conflicts from what I'm being told anyway. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah. Definitely would have got a better, if this was primed properly. Did like a primer spray paint. That would have turned, this would have turned out better. But I will just kind of do a little battle worn stuff on them. It'll be, everything will be okay. We'll work with what we got. Comments. I had to restart the browser, so now I can hear you. Oh, okay. That's good to know. Your MacBook should have a fast Thunderbolt input. That should not have any trouble when connecting to a fast hub on multiple devices. I'll have to look into that. I've got a Mac Mini. It's not a MacBook. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, the word I got from the technician for the streaming software that I have, Ecamm Live, he was saying, hey, well, if you have a hub and you have all the stuff, a lot of stuff plugged into the hub, there can be some conflicts, especially with webcams, in multiple webcams. So his suggestion was try to plug everything in, and if you have USB cameras, USB-C cameras, use that cable instead of the USB-A cables. So I ordered a bunch of those. Those are supposed to be here Sunday, I think it is. Because I would like to have 4 cameras hooked up. And so that way I've got the desk camera, and then this camera, and then one other one that would be like a on a longer USB-C cable, so I can do like the Creality cam, so we can see what's going on in the room where I'm printing stuff, and then I could, you know, so I'm just doing stuff on the desk or whatever, I could take a look and see what's going on, and so we'll see how it goes. Purple's turned out good. Let's see. Did you use primer before you started painting? No, I did the black PLA and then I just dry brushed over it. And unfortunately, that's not probably what I should have done. I should have done a real primer. And I didn't. So instead of postponing the video, I thought, hell, we'll just do it and run with it and see what happens. You know, at least we can get this thing painted and just off the shelf of shame. It'll be one less thing that I gotta do. And we'll just keep it as a lesson learned for next time. Prime your models. Wow, what are the odds? We are getting a little bit of gradient in here. It's just not as much as I would like, but oh well. Like I said, I just want to knock this baby out and get him off the shelf of shame. Oh, let's see. Dun, dun, dun. Ferretha says, Google says the standard M4 Mac Mini has a 40 GBS Thunderbolt 4 import. It's being blazingly fast for a simple camera stream. Pyro says, anyone here know what camera I can upgrade to on my A1? I'm tired of it being 1 frame per second. Yeah, I don't know about that. If there's any upgrades for the camera for the A1. Ferretha says the A1 does have a stop motion thing too. I thought this was a Mac issue when I got my dad the P1S. I'm spoiled with the live feed with the K2 Plus. I expected more from Bamboo, honestly. Yeah. Or with Prusa. Remember Prusa? For the longest time they didn't have a camera, and then, yeah, it just, Swedish Forge says, I think the quality print camera, Creality print camera in the printer is not good. Should be better. Yeah. I never understood that either. It was like, if I'm gonna pay that much money for that, for what you get, it should have a 720 camera at least. But no. I mean, I gladly pay extra money for, a better camera. I just don't understand why. Give the people what they want. If you do that, they'll buy your products. I've actually met people that are like, I bought this printer because it has a better camera than some other printer who had a worse camera. And it's like, wow. It's the bells and the whistles. And a printer is basically a printer, especially nowadays. Pretty much they're all the same. And yeah, I mean, just, like the lighting on the K2 Plus and many other printers on the inside of the enclosure is just, some of them are just horrible. The K2 Plus was really bad. And then you had a bunch of people that are like adding lights and stuff like that. And when you have a printer that is, that much, kind of like the K2 Plus or other machines, put some more lights in it, for God's sake. It's not hard to do. It is not hard to do. So yeah, it is what it is. I think we'll do that underside and the underside in black of his hand. And then Prusa. I mean, Prusa is a really good company. I'm really thinking about getting that Core 1L. But they're still, it's kind of like, yeah, we put a camera in it, but you got to pull the camera out, and then you got to scan a QR code to add it to the, it's like, good Lord, seriously. It's 2026. And you have other companies that are nowhere on the level of Prusa. You plug it in and you have a camera and it's already up and working. So, there's some stuff that Prusa does that is just kind of boggles my mind. It's like, where, you're all about quality and all this stuff, open source, which I appreciate. But then you can't just have a printer with a regular camera. Dum dum dum. The problem is in the camera quality, it is the app that's showing the 1 frame per second. That's true. Yeah, that's dumb. That is just totally dumb. Camera in the K2 Plus is nice. Problem is the bandwidth, it sends the video out. Yeah, it probably would need a 5G Wi-Fi instead of the 2.4. I don't know. Even at 2.4, you can see a lot better quality. But heck, I just get a 720p webcam and you hook that up to your computer and throw it, and compare that to your, your K2 Plus. And it's like, yeah, it's hands down. It's so easy to tell which is better. But it is a bandwidth thing. That's true. But still, it's bothersome. There are resin printers that have better camera quality. So, I mean, there's that. Again, just a little frustrating. Take a little bit extra for the bells and whistles, because really what it comes down to, I think, printers print for the most part. And I think it's going to get to the point of where, people are going to look at it and they're going to say, well, I want to see my prints. My model's being printed, but I want to see it in high quality. So I don't know. It is what it is. And I should have primed this. Seriously. And this PLA kind of sucks that paint in. But not too bad. We can see what we got going there. It is what it is. Any other touch-up places I can do? I don't know. I think we're good enough. Maybe we'll do these things here in purple as well. Just those two, and then we'll do and maybe that we'll do in purple, and then the rest will be like we could do the little inside of that, and then we could do that with a gold. I think that'll turn out good. And then we'll do silver on those. But yeah, I'm a firm believer in bells and whistles. Yeah, the two pretty much exact same products made by different companies. I think the bells and the whistles make the difference. So So today we're painting our purple Power Ranger. Maybe I should have made that as the title. People be like, what? That's not a Power Ranger. Okay, so it looks good. I think we got that going now. Let's see, what other comments do we got? You replace the camera in your printer with something better. Veritha says they use a tiny board computers on their printers. They just can't handle high bitrate video, unfortunately. Exactly, that's why my Raspberry Pi will come in clutch. If the Pi is just running the webcam, look into $30 Amcrest Wi-Fi IP cams. They're meant for that and are often motorized too. Huh. Again, just something, it might cost a little bit more, but I would pay for it. I would pay more. I would pay more, that's for sure. Well, this is going to turn out nice, I think. Especially if we do some green on that garland around his head, that'll turn out nice too. We can just hit that with need to get too careful on here. Dun, 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 dun. Ferrith says monitoring my laser engraver with an Amcrest cam live on my local network. Cool. Pyro says, but I love small projects, so I might buy the Amcrest, do the Pi, and compare them. That'd be neat. That'd be an interesting little project to do. And then you could fill us in on the details and let us know. That would be nice. Okay. And we're on to the back, so I think we'll do a little bit of purple there. I think the rest of that should be good. Clean that. So yeah, but going back to the topic of cameras, I think what we're going to end up doing is we're going to get that YOLO Live S3 camera, and that'll replace this camera that we got here that you're all looking at, and that has got a real good fast focus, so I think that would work great for painting and stuff like this. So that's kind of the plan for that. I think that'll work. Let's do the overhead lights. Maybe that'll add a little bit extra oomph. So we can get a little bit of better coverage. A little bit more light. We'll see how that goes. Dun dun dun. Okay, a little rough in some areas, but I don't know. We definitely learned a lesson that we need to prime these with black. Maybe do some filler spray paint and then do it black, and then come and do our zenithal, and we'll be good to go. So let's do some quick little once over. I think we're good. And what we can end up doing is we can come in with some black, which we don't really have black. They've got grim black in speed paints, but it's not really a black. Definitely not like black in the Army paint or regular paints. So, or the Abaddon black, like in the Citadel colors. Hell, even the matte black on the airbrush Army painter paints is. This is kind of not really a black, but we'll give it a shot and see what it looks like. If not, we can always just throw in some. Okay, well, that'll work. That actually does work. And it does give a little bit of highlight. Just not blackety black. Again, it's a speed paint, so you're kind of, but we don't have a lot of those areas, so not too bad. Maybe I'll do that as black. Just to kind of break up all of that purple that we have. A little bit of coverage on there, not too bad. Stay. And I'm not concerned about that. That's good enough. Good enough for government work. So now we can do some silver on this. No. No. My little cap came off. But we have a fix for that. Fiber fix. You know what? We'll do what Mr. Ferrith has suggested. Put a little bit of water on there as the activator. We'll just fill this with some and store these in the upright position, and your nozzle won't get clogged. Imagine that. What are the odds? And this is broadsword silver. So we'll do the silver on here, on the backpack area, and pretty much this backpack area here. We'll do silver on these things, on the jets, these vents here, and we'll kind of throw in, yeah, I think that's what we'll end up doing with that. So we'll see how that goes. Dun, dun, dun. Have fun. I give up on 891. Saw a video you made earlier, and I wondered if you've been drinking more grass coffee. No. Yeah, no. That would be no. Not doing the grass coffee thing. That's out. I think we can do this. Yeah, the whole matcha espresso latte thing, matcha lattes. No, even matcha tea, not a fan. It's like drinking wet grass is exactly how that made me feel. So, let's see. Not a big fan of it. Definitely a no. The metals go on nice. It's better than the purple, that's for sure. Slides on really nice. Really flows into the layer lines and doesn't seem to dry as fast. And a pretty decent color too. Nice, I like that. So yeah, the whole deal with the speed paint is just the zenithal. Excuse me a second, I gotta go close the door. I don't want to get a copyright strike because some news source or commercial pops on, and that's what happened in the last video, or one of my other videos. The wife was listening or watching something that had like Nat King Cole, and got dinged for that. So yeah, don't want to get dinged for that. Oh, this goes on so much nicer than the purple. There's like amazingly, there's a huge difference. Huge. Noticeable difference. That's the way the paint should just kind of, everything should be like that. Oops. I don't know. trying to hurry. It's not like I have anything going on, but trying to live up to the marketing of speed paint. Painting quickly, fast. Because that's what it's supposed to be about, right? Speed, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. And where are you painting the back? No one's going to see it. It's like, ah. Maybe we'll see what we can do with these vents. Maybe we can put in a few details in there to make it pop a little bit. We'll see. It's a good color though. It reminds me of the lead belcher on Citadel paints actually. And I really like that color. Just throw in a bunch of paint in there, why not? Nice, nice. What brand do you use when you paint? I've got Army Painter. So I've got the regular Army Painter paints. I've got some Citadel paints that I put in paint bottles, dropper bottles. And then I have the Speed Paint 2.0. So I've got those. And then, like I said, I have the Army Painter airbrush paints. So I've got those. I haven't used much of those. And then I ended up getting the Art Deco acrylic paints, which are really, really nice. And it's a good deal compared to the Army Painters paints and stuff. So yeah, I'm definitely digging those. I need to get a bit of a smaller brush. More pointed brush. So I can get some details in here. Like around this edge. Just need a tad more. A couple of tads, maybe. I was watching some videos of some people that are like professional painters and stuff like that, and I was like, holy crow, those guys are amazing. This is pretty incredible. Maybe I'll go over this in gold. I think that would stand out more. But it'll be a good little practice. That came out good. See that there? Nice, nice. I like it. And with that, we could also do a little weapon on here. Just a few details. I think we'll come back and we'll hit this again a little bit later, because it's kind of going to be going back and forth, and I don't know if I want to. I'm going to have my fingers all over this thing, so I'll just do a few of these areas. And then we can come back and yeah. We can fill that hole in with black to make that look cool. Do that like a brown. Guess we could do the scope in this metallic color as well. Maybe black. Maybe I'll go back over in black. To do that, we'll just put silver in there. So we'll do the rail in black. This will end up, we'll do that in black. I really should have had an Aquila on there. And then we'll do the little handguard in brown. We could do this edge. And with some silver. And do that in brown as well. Looking good. Thank you, George. Getting there. I've seen people prime and then spray black onto the figures before painting. Yeah, yeah. Basically, what I ended up doing is priming it in black, and then I'll go over with a white for the zenithal, and that seems to work out fairly well. So, these. So I can get to the, keep thinking I'm going to break that guy's sword. I don't want to do that. So now, we can go and we can do some gold. I think I'll save the staff for last. Oh, we still need to do some purple here. I forgot about that. Purple it is. Yeah, but people can some people will prime their models and then they'll sand them, wet sand them, or whatever it is, and then they'll do black on top of that, and then they'll do the white or whatever they're going to end up doing for zenithal or dry brushing or whatever. So yeah, there's different things that you can end up doing. I failed miserably because I didn't prime this. I just PLA and ran with it. So, my bad. I think the biggest problem I had was just trying to draw straight lines, paint straight lines with my brush. And just trying to get it to where it's like, I need to have a stable, have like this elbow sitting down, this sitting down, this elbow down, and then I was able to get a much better paint stroke instead of like having everything holding up in the air and then trying to get, a nice straight line without moving around so much. Because if you're holding your hands up and this is moving and this is moving and you're moving, you're trying to, it doesn't work out well. Imagine that. What are the odds? People are probably going, thank you, Captain Obvious. Like I said, I didn't claim to be the sharpest knife in the drawer. Like I said, I'm more like the spork. Okay, that looks good. Looks good. We can do this side. Dun, dun, dun. Ned Bentham's here. Is priming always necessary on PLA? That's what we're kind of finding out because I didn't prime this. And it's turning out okay-ish. But you get the layer lines and this paint, sometimes it'll suck in the paint, and so you don't get a real even finish on it. And so I would probably say priming would be better. At least what I'm finding out so far. So, but we're just getting this off the, it was my fault because I should have primed this and then did the dry brushing, but I didn't. So we can just take this as an opportunity to learn of what not to do and things we can change in the future. Okay, so that looks better. So we're good there. Time for a swig. Good. And I think we'll go back to the black. I want to do the belt. No, maybe I'll do the belt and do the belt black and then with the silver buckle. Sure, why not? It seems like you would lose detail if you primed. It depends on the paint that you use, but the priming would be good because like you can end up seeing here, if you can see those layer lines on there, which you can, and if you primed it, those would be covered up and it would be smooth, but it wouldn't totally ruin all of the details. So yeah, there's that. So if you just But if you ended up just priming it and kept priming it over and over and over, eventually you would fill in all the details. So it's got to be a light primer, but enough to cover everything. And but then there's a difference between filler and primer. So what we're going to do? Oh yeah, we're going to do the black on the belt. And then that way, when we do our gold, hopefully that'll really just like pop on that belt buckle type of thing. So that's what I know so far, which isn't much. Just trying to figure out what works and just run with it and see what happens. And I could go through and throw some dark in here. Oh yeah, that'll work. Fill in those vent area things. So it doesn't look like I just didn't do any of that. A little bit of details. A little dot of black. But yeah, I would definitely prime this. If I was going to do this over again, I would definitely prime it. And then do the zenithal. So, oh well. But again, this isn't like a huge display piece, or it's not commissioned or anything, not putting it into a competition. I'm just getting this off my pile of shame. So that's all we're doing. Nothing serious. Do some little black on here on some of these areas. Kind of break up some of the massive purple that we have. And for some people that were, I had told people that I was going to go to the Philippines in February. We changed our plans. We're changing that to April. So, see if we can get this in there without screwing things up. And the reason we're doing that in April is that it's a little bit less expensive. And so we're going to go that route because, I mean, it's like $100 a night. It's not like crazy expensive. And I think we're going to go to Bohol. We're going to go, what other place are we going to go? Bohol. Somewhere else. I can't remember. Our plans change, but we're definitely going to go. But, yeah. Okay, I think we can do the gold now. But we made some changes on that. And we're going to, you know, $100 a night. We're going to spend about 2 weeks. And then we're like, let's go April. Prices will come down a little bit. and hopefully that'll ease some of the pain. With that. The gourd. Gourd! Should you prime with dark or light color? That Ben have asked. Mostly I've seen people prime with dark colors like black, and then, but I've also seen some people do like black and purple and kind of mix that in. I've also seen them do it with black and like a blue to get some different undershades, dark tones with kind of, instead of just black, you've got a little bit of a different color scheme under there. If you use like black and purple or blue, especially like when I painted the Hulk, it ends up, I think it was, I black primed and then I sprayed from the model from the bottom. So if this was model, everything was black, and then I sprayed black everywhere. And then I took purple and kind of sprayed it up in this direction, and it gave for a little bit of a different type of shadow color instead of just black. So again, it's just a little bit mixing of colors, but generally I've seen most people do black, unless you're doing, speed paint, which you could do everything white, but that zenithal will definitely give you that gradient. But yeah, mostly I don't think I've seen anybody. Has anybody seen anybody prime with other than darker colors? I haven't. That's a good question. But mainly I do everything in black or dark color. So, alrighty, let's get our gold on. That's such a nice color. Speed paint gold. And here we go. Oh, yes. That is going to be nice. And that gold just flows so nice. Look at that. That looks sharp. Sharp. Nice, nice, nice. That is going to be nice. Love that gold color. I'll redeem all the odd stuff that we have with the purple, not priming the model. So nice. Hopefully the shiny colors will detract from some of the stuff I did with the purple. Now, let's see if we can't. Look at that. Look at that. That is nice. Daddy-like. I like the purple. I need a filament in that color. Oh yeah, that would be nice. So I'm kind of looking forward to getting that Core 1L, and the fact that that would be really good. And eventually when the Bond Tech comes out, and that you can put in a bunch of different colors and minimal time, minimal filament waste, kind of like the Snap Maker or whatever. But yeah, it would look nice. And then printing everything in different colors, you don't have much to paint. And I've seen people do like the Borderlands helmets or multiple items. You know, they got, of course, even with the CFS or a multi-material system, I've seen some people do some pretty amazing things. Oh yeah, that is going to be nice. Yes. Purple and gold, that's the way to go, folks. Oh, an interesting conversation I had online was there was a model that I saw, or that somebody had posted, and it was obviously AI. And, you know, he posted a link and whatever, and dude was selling it for $1 or $2 or whatever it was. And people are like, you know, oh, that's AI trash. And it's like, yeah, it's obviously made in AI, but it still looks cool. So I'm not sure why people are kind of like going crazy over that stuff. And thinking back to history, you know, you had sculptors that would craft things out of marble, you know, incredible statues and works of art, you know, just incredible people and what they would end up doing. And then, you know, later on down the road, you have people that were like, oh, well, you could do this. And then it was like, then painters, and then technology advances, and you have these things where, you know, you didn't have, it opened it up to more and more people. And then, so if you have like, you know, printers and computers and stuff like this, and then it's funny because the people that make 3D models nowadays use software. It's not like they're molding clay or chiseling out marble and things like that. They're using software. But before they did that, you had people that would model stuff in clay, and those were the true masters. And then, oh, well, you're doing it in software, and oh, that's trash. That's taking away from the artistry, you know, the artist and the work that they do, and blah, 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 and all that stuff. And it was kind of like, and now we're doing the same thing. You know, history is repeating itself because now you have AI, which is using a computer program to do the things that people used to use programs and do. Now the AI is doing it, and they're putting out products. Still looks cool, but then you have still people saying, oh, that's trash. And it's like, but is it really? Or is it just, you know, we're, you know, I get why people don't like AI, but then also I just, you know, the same thing could be said throughout history. So It's kind of like, I get what you're saying, but we've said this before in the past, and then it's advanced so much that people using software to make models instead of clay, that has been generally accepted as being, oh, they're real artists, they're real creators, whereas AI is not the real creator anymore. It's the same thing, you're just taking another variable out of it to create something that looks cool. I don't know. Dun, 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 dun. I like that purple. The more you highlight, the better it looks. Yeah. I use my ACE units more than I thought I would. What brand of filament is your favorite? I print with Elegoo PLA. Get really good prints with that. I've done eSun. I've done Creality. And Polymaker is the one I've been using most lately. Because I'm doing bigger prints and I get those things in like a 2.5 kilo spool, Polymaker PLA. So there's that. What is some other stuff? There's some other ones I bought and used. It just seems like they all seem to work well. Let's see if I can get these edges without screwing it up. I think what it comes down to is, you dial in your printer and dial in your filament, and you can get some pretty good results. I think eventually there is a line of, you got to get good filament, but with the way you can dial in filament these days for your printer and the profile, it ends up I don't know, just find what you can get a good deal on and run with it. Is that pretty good, don't you think? The little thing there, I like that. Purple and gold is good. Let's continue on. Again, I got to remind myself, stable base. But I think eventually, we've already got to the place, I'm talking about painting and models and stuff like that. There's people now with multi-material systems, and you can have up to 16 colors, and heck, you can print models and not have to paint anything. A lot of people are doing that. Be careful. So, I don't know. But I don't think AI is bad. I do think there could be problems with it. Could you imagine if, and I have no idea, I haven't really dived deep into the AI and the legalities and all of that stuff. But imagine if a company that generates AI figures and models and whatever, and then they have something where it says they retain the copyrights for those models. You could use it and print it and you can sell it. But what happens if they put a little blurb in the contract and says, hey, by the way, you use our software, we are also have access and can, it's like you're co-owners of the the model or whatever is made with the AI. That would be interesting. And then there's also, what do you do with AI created music? There's already cases where people are like having hits, made with AI, and who's going to own that? Is it the person that pressed the button, that paid a subscription fee and, pressed a button and said, hey, make a song with lyrics dealing with, whatever, and then the AI makes the entire song like we kind of went over some of that. But I mean, who owns that? I think once I saw that, it's like music has changed forever, in my opinion. Because hell, you don't need anybody to play music anymore. Just press a button, boom, you're done. So, but with 3D modeling, is that going to be the same thing? Who's going to own it? George says, AI can be a double-edged sword. I can say I'm brand loyal to any filament. Oh, I can't say that I'm loyal to any. AI will take over the world soon. Good morning, good morning. Yeah. Maybe it'll end up being like Terminator. Take over the world. Save us from ourselves. Oh, I made a glaring mistake. I wonder if I can fix that. With the yep, that gold's on there. Try to get that off with some purple. It just doesn't have a lot of good coverage. So be careful. That's good enough. Good enough for government work. Now. Just use the side of the brush. Go over that raised area. Which I learned to do by watching other people. It's like, don't paint this way, because I would screw it up every single time. But if I just take the edge and just run it over sideways, I can hit all the raised areas. I get greater accuracy. Like that. Then I can go back and try to get the edges. a little bit greater accuracy. So yeah, turns out good. We become AI slaves. Nah, house cats will save us. Look at what they do to Roombas. Yeah, the cats will take the AI and just push them off the table. But what happens if the cats are the ones that are behind the AI? That could be a thing that no one's kind of thought of. What if they were truly the masters and they're just pretending to be cats? Or they're just pretending to be animals, but they really are more intelligent beings. And they just make the humans make the AI, and they're in charge of the humans, and then they become in charge of the AI. I'm more of a dog person myself. Alrighty, I think we're good with that. Guess we could do some gold on this guy here. And we'll do his Aquila in gold as well. Oh, dun, dun, dun. There's a reason ancient Egyptians would worship cats. Probably. They say you don't own a cat, you're their human. I think that's true. That sounds true. Made another mistake. Oh well. Oh well. Let's see if we can do the Aquila without screwing it up. One thing I can say, larger models are easier to print or paint. That's for sure. I like that part. That's a nice thing. Yeah, it's going to turn out nice. Dun dun dun. You feed them and scoop their poop. They know who's in charge. George says, has a cat and a dog. That's one of my things, is to get a dog. But that is going to be a while down the road. The wife doesn't like dog hair. And it's just, it can be very problematic. Because I don't really care about dog hair that much. You know, you clean, you do your normal stuff, and then that wouldn't be a big problem. I'll save that for later. So I think we're coming out okay. We're getting there. Let's do this. This belt buckle in gold. The type of dog I would want would be, I think right now, would be a golden retriever. Had one before, and I had trained it when it was a puppy. We got it when it was like 8 or 10 weeks old, something like that. And in a matter of a month or two, he could sit, shake hands, heel, do all that good stuff. Yeah, it was really good. I really liked it. But we had to get rid of it, unfortunately. So dog's name was Sam. I miss Sam. But we had to give him up. Some issues. And then the good thing is, when we did give him up, we gave him to a guy who had an older golden retriever, and then he lives on a farm. And he showed us pictures of the farm and everything, and it was just like dog heaven. So it's like, okay, yeah. So yeah, it was a thing. It happened. I don't know if there's an afterlife, but if there is, I hope Sam is there. Otherwise, I think we just die and we're done. Can I squeak out a little bit more out of that gold? Farms are dog heavens. My cousin had to give up her dog and he gave it to someone on a farm. Bertha says he grew up with Labradors. Those are nice dogs as well. I like those too. See, I knew I liked you for some reason. I knew there was a good reason. I'm just going to do some some of these purple things here and do them in gold. Boy, that gold really is liquidy. I was going to do those in black, but I think I'll just put a little spritz of gold on there. Do some little circle gold. And then we could even just do the edges in gold. This turned out good. That we got there. Nice, nice. And if we're going to do gold, we might as well do his thing on his knee. Gotta remember to breathe. I'm hungry too. Must mean it's been, what time is it? Oh, it's 10:19. No wonder I'm hungry. Holy crow. It's like, man, my stomach's like, feed me. Okay, we got that. So a little bit of knee action there. Little focus. Definitely gold takes away from all the problem areas of the purple. Labs are like vacuum cleaners, literally. Yes. They just eat everything. Ferris, I definitely have something on me dogs like, I believe. I sent you a picture of my stepdaughter, Cane Corso, that usually doesn't like people. They love me. Probably smell like chicken. Could be. That could be. I like dogs. My wife is like that with babies. Babies adore my wife for some reason. She just looks at them and they start smiling, and then she smiles and talks to them, and they're just like, she's like a baby whisperer. Let's see. Trying to get those raised edges. those side pieces. Babies typically like my cowboy hat. Now let's see if we can't do that little side brush thing on this, but that is a real, that didn't come out super even. We're doing it. That's about as good as that's going to get. And we'll use some more of this for the rivets. Rivet. We'll just do some dots in gold. Just do the tops of these. That'll turn out nice. We got that. We'll do gold. Do a little bit on the edge on that. Now maybe we'll do, yeah, edges matter. Just really delicate. So yeah, so a little bit of dots. The rivets we got going on there, that's nice. I like that. Do you have any other rivets that we can do? I think we'll do part of this in gold as well on his little Roman type thing that we got going on. And then we'll come back and see if we can do like a different color for that little Roman plume or whatever's on the top of there. And this is just way deep in there. See what kind of color we can do on that stuff, which will be interesting. So I'm not sure what color we're going to do on this piece here. If you can see what I'm talking about. So yeah, that right there. If you got any suggestions, I'm thinking red. That could look good. And then let's do the grate in gold. We'll go ahead and do that. Kind of do the same thing, hit it a little sideways. Which is so much nicer than trying to, so much easier, because you just glide your brush sideways and boom, you're covered. And you can get that pretty consistent. Red is my favorite color, so that's always a yes for me. Yeah, I think we could do the red. I'm feeling it as well. Let's see if I can get that edge. A little bit of touch up. So there we go. I like that color. The gold's coming out really nice. I like that. Nice, nice. It's got good coverage and it looks sharp. We'll do that piece too in gold. Might as well. Still need to find that little spike that we lost when I dropped him. Snapped his thing. It's like not a good thing. And then we can go back with some silver and we can hit the little dots on that with some silver, and that'll look cool. Maybe even instead of just all gold, I'll do the gold, and then with the spikes I'll do those in a bronze, so we get just a little bit of a different little something going on. Yeah, we snapped off 2 of those babies. Okay, looking better, looking better. Yeah, we'll probably do some bronze on there, that way you get a little bit of a different thing. So for the most part, not bad. We could do a couple other things I could do in gold. just noticed it. So we can do these things here. And then we'll do that ring on his wrist. We'll do that in gold as well. I think that'll be a pretty cool looking thing. So let's do that. Oh yes. We've got some edges on there that we can do. Nice. Got a little bit of edging. So yeah, that comes out good. Not bad. What other stuff we got going on? Screwed up. Damn it. Damn it. Oh well. I wasn't paying attention. Focus, Wilson. Focus. Boy, I really screwed that up. A little bit of overspray, a little bit, yeah. Okay, we'll try to fix that later. Coming out pretty decent. Any other things I could do in gold? I could do these in gold. Sure, why not? Do a little bit more. Bling him out. Yeah. Gold. Yes, that'll be good. Gotta be careful. Yeah, I like it better. Some darker red would probably complement the purple and the gold really well. I think so. So I'll do the red up here, and we'll see if we can do some gold or some red some other places as well. So I think you're right. It would look good. Somebody's going to be like, why are you painting in areas that no one will see? It's like, I don't know. Okay, it turned out not bad. Not bad, not bad. And see how that turns out. So definitely the back is coming through. We got some good colors. Definitely a lot better than the the black PLA with white dry brush. Definitely a lot better. Which now we can end up doing is we can take a look at that red. I'll do that thing and slaughter red. We'll go red because I think that'll work. Some other places where we could put red. Maybe we could put some stuff on the hammer that he's got. You could put some red accents on there a little bit, maybe in that center portion. Kind of like in, seriously, don't touch the thing you just painted. That is an important lesson. Paint something, don't touch it again. But you never hear the professional paint people telling you useful tips like that. Never heard it. But you heard it here. So yeah, we'll do the slaughter red. That's kind of that'll be a good color. So let's run with it. Ooh, that spurted out. We got a ton of red. Ooh, that is a nice dark rich slaughter blood red. Look at that. All that gory red goodness. That looks like blood. I am so digging that. Oh yeah. That is going to come out nice. Deep, rich red. It's got to have a lot of red. Oh, that is so nice. That is so nice. Red and gold. Definitely worth it. Yes, that is going to be good. Look at that. There's a good shot of it. Yeah. That is nice. And a little green garland around there. That'd be nice. Maybe do a little bit of I'll fill that in with some red. And we'll kind of get, oh yeah, I'm liking that. I'm liking that. So yeah, a little red on the inside there. Digging it. We'll fill in those with red, and then we'll go back over that other hole with gold on the rim there, because that is working it. Maybe you could do red in that blacked out area. Let's try that. See how that would look. Of course, it'll be a darker. Yeah, I think that'll work. Oh yeah. Nice, nice. Since I got a bunch of red there that I can use. And it wipes off quickly, so that's kind of a good thing. Yeah, I dig that. Red will work. Definitely a good color. Yeah, that'll add some character to it. Yeah, it gives a little different, a little bit of color there. I don't know if you can see that, but comes out nice. Adds a little bit of a different thing there. Okay, I think what we'll end up doing if I can save some of this red. Let's try it because I got so much on that. Maybe I can suck some of this up. A little bit. Saved a little. Probably not a lot. What I'll do is I'm going to paint that a little bit more because that is just, I think I'm too light of a color on there. It really just doesn't do it justice. Just super nice. Blood for the blood god. All right, that looks better. Slaughter red is the way to go. Alrighty, folks. I think what we'll end up doing is we will call this for now. Let's see how we can get, if we can see that. So we got some pretty decent, some pretty good paint details on there, even though the purple's kind of messed up because we didn't prime it. But the gold definitely helps. The red is awesome. And yeah, it comes out, you know, for an FDM print, that's not bad. Not bad at all. So I think what we'll do is we'll do the garland on his head in green. And then, oh no, it came off again, seriously. We'll do the garland in green, and then we'll call this a day. And then, yeah, turned out really nice. Like the color combination, yeah. And the red, that slaughter red definitely nails it. It just blends, complements each other. Jerry Day, I just finished cooking my dinner. Good seeing you, Steve. Alrighty, well, hey, have a good dinner. Enjoy it. I'm gonna be signing off here pretty soon to get some breakfast, late breakfast at that. So we're gonna go ahead and get our top set in here, glue this back down. And we will get a little bit of water. I will not forget that trick. And this is orc skin. I think that'll be a good color. A question, what's for breakfast? I don't know, might have an egg sandwich. Today's what, Tuesday? Yeah, I'll probably have an egg sandwich. Scrambled eggs, cheese, throw in a little bit of cream and butter, flip up the eggs really good. And tasty eggs. So I'll do a sandwich, maybe I'll have some greens, some salad along with that. We'll see how that goes. Trying to eat more greens. So, more green. Green is good. More veggies. So, let's do the garland of green. And I'll use our smaller brush. And let's see how this looks. Oh yeah. is going to be interesting because it's kind of you can see that. Not bad, not bad. I always do oatmeal and some yogurt, blueberries, protein powder. Yeah, I already had my protein shake this morning, so we're good on that. And I just do the protein shake out of convenience. I mean, if I really had my nutrition plan, but you know, I eat more food and whatever, but protein powder just makes it so convenient. And I don't mind it. Yeah, this green is nice. Oh yeah, that red and green comes out good. More like Christmas. Oh. Protein powder makes your Greek yogurt taste really good. That it does. That it does. We ran out of water. So I think that means it's time. We gotta clean that. I'll clean that just because I can't remember if I cleaned that or not. So that's what we end up having today. So we'll continue on in another video. We'll do that, and let's get a final good look at our guy, and we can see that, yeah, the gold and the silver, the purple all came out really nice. Definitely good. And we come back, we'll do some of this other stuff. The red and the green came out really, really nice. And then the details definitely a lot better than what it was before. So yeah, we'll kind of finish this up. Let's see, can we zoom in on that guy there? I think we can. So yeah, there he is. We finished him up. Almost finished him up. So anyway, that's what we got going on. We had finally getting him off the shelf of shame. So we painted that guy up. We're doing pretty good. Lessons we learned were prime, fill, prime, then do the white zenithal or the dry brush, and it'll look a lot better. So we're going to take a look at that. We'll continue on in another video. We'll end up doing the rest of the stuff. We'll do some details. We might even do some wash, so that way we can hide some of the stuff, make it kind of look grim darkish using some washes, and yeah, kind of muddy them up a little bit. Maybe we'll do some streaking, grime. I don't think I have a base for him. I think I do have a base. I do have a base. Well, no, I don't. Because I had kind of, easy there, killer. So I have kind of like a base like this. And that's kind of like what this guy, who's been waiting to get painted forever, but I could also use this one for that guy as well. Or I could just print another one of those if I could find the file. I'm not sure where that file's at. But yeah, we'll find some type of base and something, you know, that could print on the 3D printer, the K2 Plus. We'll see how that goes. I'm calling my K2 Plus the Kurgan. That is the name of the K2 Plus, is Kurgan. If you get that Highlander reference, thumbs up to you. So yeah. Really nice job, Steve. Would love to get those figures in front of my macro lens. I don't know about that. You get the more closer you get to miniatures and painting and stuff like that. Like here's the very first miniature that I ever painted. And of course this one doesn't focus as well, but it turned out pretty decent. But when you look at it close up, it's like, oh my gosh, look at how terrible that is. It's like, and then this is another one that I really enjoyed. As a matter of fact, I think I got a picture of that. That one I really like. That one turned out so good. Where is he at? Dun dun. Or do I even have a picture of it? I don't know. Maybe he's in downloads? Well, I mean, there's a little picture of him. It's not the best picture, but we can do a little bit of cropping action here and kind of, because I use that pick to do my little stand there. Come on, a little bit more, dun, 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 dun. Yeah, so there he is. That one turned out really good. I really like that. That's probably one of my more favorite ones. But yeah, fun stuff. Barrett says, no, Steve, when you look really close, you see all the flaws. Almost no one would notice. Yeah, that's exactly true. But you paint something and then you look at it and you're like, oh, this is awesome. I really like this. And then you put on the magnifying glasses and you look at it and you're like, oh, that's horrible. So unless you painted it with magnifying glasses, which is something I've been thinking about doing, maybe, but that would really be frustrating unless it was a bigger print. So I don't know, we'll see what happens. So anyway, that's what we got going on. We did some painting on that dude, so that is good. Reduce the pile of shame. And if anybody wants to contact me, what you could end up doing is you could email me here at this email address, officialtheverylife@gmail.com. And yeah, whether you want to say hi or show me stuff that you've done, ask questions of how I'm retired in Korea or whatever. In the comment section, I'm also posting the link for my Creality Cloud, so that way you can get the little miniature paint holder, stand holder, hand thing, whatever. That's all free. You can do that. Bunch of people over here bought me coffee. Matter of fact, Ferret, this was one of those. I appreciate that, and Mike and some other people. But the best thing you can do is like and subscribe to the channel, which a lot of you have done. The regulars have done, and I appreciate that. Ferret says, take care and enjoy your Tuesday, and I'm gonna use that as the closing saying, I guess. And hopefully that your Tuesday or Monday, whatever day it is, that you have a good one and do something, enjoy and have fun. Hang around some good people and be a better person. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Peace. Good stuff.